I remember spending hours and hours sitting in the anterooms of the Schubert organization, trying to get a theater. You know, there were no theaters. The investors did not consider that a play about a black family was something that would return its investment. So we, in the time, which began in about November, through that whole spring and into the summer, we had been unable to raise the money, or a small portion of the money. And Phil Rose thought he was going to have to give up the show because suddenly there appeared a white producer, another white producer, who was an experienced one, but he wanted to take over the show. Now that meant that our working relationship with Phil, which had been excellent, would be interrupted by somebody else coming in with the most money and taking control. It also, I was conscious of the fact, jeopardized my possibilities as a director. I'm an unknown. Who was I to be directing the show? And I recall a moment with Phil when he was deeply disturbed about his possibly losing the show. And if he did come in as a secondary producer, would we still retain our relationship with him? Of course we'd do that, because we had a wonderful working relationship. If I remained, the relationship would remain. And so Phil finally turned that producer away. He couldn't accept that. And we went on having backers auditions, trying to raise the money. And the time was coming. You see, producing a show like that is like going to the top of a toboggan slide. You can resist up to a certain point, but once you go over to that first hump, you're going to the bottom, one way or another, whether you smash up in a tree, whether you turn over, you're going all the way, once you make that commitment. Well, there were some contracts that had been signed. Sydney had been signed and had to be paid starting at a certain point. In September, when we were supposed to go in rehearsal, we couldn't go in rehearsal. And Sydney was working on a film. He was supposed to be through, but we got the call that the set had burned down, and they were going to have to delay the film. So we were going to have to delay. We very quietly rejoiced about that because it gave more time to raise money, which eventually we did.